when we were sitting. Yes, we invented her a couple of
All right, we are live on Zoom. I mean, on YouTube. We're always live on Zoom. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Welcome to those in the room, those on Zoom, those watching us on YouTube Live. It is my pleasure to welcome you to our Shabbat service with Congregation Shalom. A lovely Shabbat. Take a few deep breaths. I worked with a rabbi once who would start every Shabbat service saying, deep breaths, wide open spaces. It's kind of how I feel tonight. We're to begin our Shabbat service this evening on page 12. If you have the Shabbat weekday and festival prayer book at home, it is on page 130. Lechu Neranana. Page 12, 130 in the big book. Lechu Neranana. Lechu Neranana, Lechu Neranana, Lechu Neranana, Ladonai. Lechu Neranana, Lechu Neranana, Lechu Neranana, Ladonai. Naria, Naria, Letzui, Shedu Nekadma, Bana, Vitoda. Naria, Naria, let's go green, Shenu, things we don't Naria low. The Funeranina, the Funeranina, the Funeranina, La Donai. The Funeranina, the Funeranina, the Funeranina, La Donai. We're going to continue with the lighting of the Shabbat candles. You will find it on page 2 and 3, page 120, 121 in the big book. Whoops, I just realized I didn't put on my microphone. There we go. And set the magic setting on the computer. Now we're all set. Who would like to light the Shabbat candles this evening?
I would.
Thank you, Lacey.
O source of light and truth. Well, we'll fix that another week.
I'm just going to move a little farther away from you. I think it might be feedback.
Sounds like the heart of rock and roll.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen. Thank you, Lacey. We're going to continue on page 8, page 126 in the big book. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us, and to bring that vision to life. We continue on page 20, page 138 in the big book with Lecha Dodi. We'll sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And then when we reach verse 9, we rise to face the rear of the sanctuary to welcome the Sabbath bride. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachur b'dibur echad, hishmi'anu el hamiuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shemo tiferet v'litchila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor habracha, merosh mikadem nesucha. So ma'aseh b'machshava tchila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, kiva orech kumi ori, uri, uri, shidaberi, kivod Adonai alai etila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'betzola. Toch emunei am segula, boi chala, boi chala. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Our kavanah this evening comes from Alden Salavi. Shabbat is the place where time and space meet without questioning how the beginning began or how the ending ends. Shabbat is the place where song and silence meet, blessing each other with the gift of rest. Shabbat is the place where dreams and angels meet, yearning together for a world of peace. Shabbat is the place where holiness and eternity meet, praying together for the world to come. We continue on page 26, 144 in the big book, the Chatzi Kaddish. Yitkadav yikadash shemei Rabba Be'alma divrach yirutev yamlich malchutei B'chayechon uvyomechon Uchayetecho beit Yisrael Ba'agala Uvizman kariv Ve'imeru Amen Yehei Shmei Rabba mevarach Le'alam u'li'almei almaya Yitbarach Yitbarach v'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yinaseh V'yitadar v'yitalal Shemei dekudesh abrichu Laila min kol birchata V'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata Da'amiran be'alma Ve'imeru Amen. We turn to page 28, 146 in the big book, and we rise for the call to worship as Abel the Baruch Hu, and remain standing through the Shema. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. Page 31, 149 in the big book. Let's read together in the middle of the page. This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Page 32, 150 in the big book. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ומצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ויורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה, נגה יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל. Page 34, 152. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malchuto Leolam, Leolam Va'ed. Please be seated. Turn to the back of our bulletins, Shabbat bulletins, for Julie Silver's You Shall Love. Love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And these words which I command you on this day shall be in your heart, shall be in your heart. Teach them faithfully unto your children. Speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise. Love to bind them for a sign upon your hand, that they may be a symbol between your eyes. Write them on the doorposts of your house and upon your gates, and upon your gates. Teach them faithfully unto your children. Speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise, and when you rise. We continue on page 39, 157 in the big book. Let's read together at the top of the page. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there, except by joining hands, marching together. Page 40, 158. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, Nora tehilot, oh sefele, Nora tehilot, oh sefele, malchutecha ra'u banecha, bokei hayam, lifnei Moshe Miriam, Zeli anu v'yameru, Adonai yimloch, Adonai yimloch, le'olam va'ed. V'ne'emar kifat Adonai et Yaakov, uge'alo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Page 42, 160 in the Big Book. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace, and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 44, 162. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, לדורותם בריתם. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, לדורותם בריתם. Veini uvein, b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, לדורותם בריתם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריתם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריתם. turn to page 46, 164 in the big book. And as able, we rise for the tefillah. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agite hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, El Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geulah livnei v'neihem, Leman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah rav lehoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim berofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Micha mocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melach memit umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, Minaeman ata v'hachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahlucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. We are seated. We turn to page 55, 173 in the big book. Let's read responsively in the middle of the page. Disturb us, Adonai, ruffle us from our complacency. Make us dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from a shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness, and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans.
Shock us, Adonai, deny to us the false Shabbat, gives us the delusions of satisfaction amid a world of war and hatred.
Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweet and sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryears.
Make us know that the border of the sanctuary is not the border of living, and the walls of your temples are not shelters from the winds of truth, justice, and reality.
Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 60, 178 in the big book. Shalom Rav. few moments for silent reflection and prayer, using the words on the next few pages, or those that flow from our hearts. Oseh Shalom is on page 62, 180 in the big book. Oseh Shalom Bimroma, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, On this Shabbat of Memorial Day weekend, we offer a special prayer. Our God, God of our ancestors, we thank you for the numerous blessings you have bestowed upon our nation. Out of the many nations of the world, our country has been blessed with a singular opportunity to demonstrate how peoples of many faiths and heritages can live side by side and enrich one another's lives through friendship and the sharing of our unique traditions. We are united this day in a solemn act of gratitude to those who have served in our nation's defense, to those who have risked their personal safety to save the lives of others, and above all, to those who have died serving this country. Their sacrifices are forever remembered by us and by our children for generations to come. We do not forget. Our hearts go out to those serving today in our armed forces and to their families. Those who are veterans of previous wars know best of all what they must be feeling, what their spouses and children are feeling, what they pray for. In all our many faiths, we are united in this. Our prayers are with those who serve our country today. We ask God that they may return speedily and in good health and safety to their loved ones. And may God grant each of us the wisdom to uphold this nation's virtues, and that it may continue to serve as a beacon of liberty and harmony between peoples for all the world to see, as we say. Amen.
Amen.
We turn to page 278, 570 in the big book for the counting of the Omer. הנני מוכנה ומזונה לקיים מצוות עשה של ספירת העומר. I am ready to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer. Please join me in the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat haomer. Our praise to you, Adonai, sovereign of all, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to count the Omer. Hayom Shnayim Ushloshim Yom Shehem Arba'a Shavuot Va'arba'a Yamim LaOmer. Today is 32 days, that is 4 weeks and 4 days of the Omer. We have a few birthdays. Rod celebrated his birthday this past week, but we're celebrating it tonight. And we also have online Eileen. I'm going to spotlight Eileen here. There we go.
Can you send her a virtual lollipop?
And Dave will get his lollipop later. He got his blessing last week. Is there anybody else with a birthday this week that's not on my list? All right. Come over here where everybody can see you. God of days and years, author of life, our times are in your hand. We thank you for the blessing of life and for all that enriches our lives. We gather today in special thankfulness to share in Rod's and Eileen's birthday joy. May they be blessed with health and happiness and with the strength to overcome sickness and sorrow. And may we have the privilege of coming together for many more years to celebrate their birthdays together with family, with loved ones, and with this holy congregation, as together we say, Amen.
Amen.
In our blessing, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehachayanu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of all, for giving us life, for sustaining us, and for enabling us to reach this time of joy. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yom Huledet Sameach, and of course. Dave, you want to come up and get your birthday lollipop from last week?
Eileen will hold yours for when you come to
Okay.
town.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Lacey.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. We turn our thoughts now to those in need of healing of mind, body, and spirit. We turn to page 253, 371 in the big book.
This is 251, 253.
Misha Berach Avotenu ve'imotenu Avraham Yitzchak ve'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah Hu Yivarech et HaCholim. Joe Adler, Patty Baker, Sarah Cohen, Bruce Dalby, Nell Dalby, Carolyn Dowlin, Stuart Dowlin, Vito Frescas, Bernard Gottlieb, Melanie Hudson, Suzanne Carfield, Rick Kramer, Alex Langdale, Jenna Lesser, Arthur McLeod, Ann Manning, Dennis Martin, September McLeod, Mike McNerney, Robert Medeiros, Adriana Meyer, Carol Miller, Marge Muldoon, Commuter, Minmuter, Robin Nelson, Gerald Poor, John Robertson, Shimshon Ben Abraham V'Sarah, Bethany Sellers, Matt Shane, Jennifer Simlin, Mike Stern, Karen Usatine, Emilio Vasquez, Kay Williams, Betsy Winokur. Are there others for whom we are praying for healing this Shabbat? We'll start first in the room. Okay.
Courtney Parks, Kiki Freeman.
Thank you. Lacey?
Molly Morales.
Thank you. Anybody on Zoom? Eileen?
Jackie Klieger, Maureen Frebley, Dave Wellman, Jerry Grant, and Arnie Ames. Thank you.
Thank you. Wendy?
Jean and Warren Shoemaker and the mother Debbie McNerney.
Thank you. Anybody else on Zoom? For those whom we've named and those we name in our hearts, we continue. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimalei Rachamim Aleichem, Lahachalimam, Ularapotam, Ulahachazikam. V'yishlach lahem mehera refuah shlema min hashamayim, refuat hanefesh, refuat haguf, hashtabeh agalav bizman kariv, v'nomar. Amen. And we continue with the Misha Berach that we sing on that same page. Friends, it's been a while since we went free from Egypt. So much has happened. Let's pause for a moment to take stock of where we've been. It took us 6 weeks to get from slavery in Egypt to the end of Shemot, to the point where our physical exodus was essentially complete. Along the way, we received the Torah, or rather, Aseret Hadibrot, the 10 utterances, built the Mishkan, the tabernacle, anointed Aaron and his sons as priests, gotten lots and lots of laws, had a few missteps, golden calf, and learned what it means to be holy according to God's standards. Wow, that's a lot in 14 weeks. And tonight, our Parsha, Behar, opens with this simple statement. Vayedaber Adonai el Moshe Behar Sinai Lemor. Adonai spoke to Moses on Mount Sinai. This may not yet strike you as remarkable. After all, God talks to Moses all the time, and no one would contest, at least within the Torah itself, that some of that talking happened at Sinai. Still, why mention that now? Why, after the whole book of Leviticus, with all of its many laws and details, does the Torah suddenly return us to Mount Sinai? Medieval French commentator Rashi, responding to a possibly heretical idea, asserts that this phrase means precisely the opposite of what you might think. It would be natural to assume that because the Torah makes special mention that these specific things were said on Mount Sinai, other things weren't. Maybe, for example, Moses got the general ideas of the mitzvot at Sinai, but then worked out the details himself when he came down from the mountain. There are, after all, some mitzvot, first given in Exodus or Leviticus, that are reiterated with new and different details in Deuteronomy. Just maybe a person might think the Sinai moment wasn't quite as complete as we would think. Not so, insists Rashi. The Torah brings us back to Sinai in this verse precisely to insist that every divine command that was spoken to Moses came from Sinai, including both general principles and minute details. So according to Rashi's teaching, returning to Sinai means to dig into the details of Jewish text and law. Spanish commentator Ramban, also known as Nachmanides, who, as was his custom, restates Rashi's points only to vehemently disagree with them, saying, and this seems entirely wrong in my eyes, sees this moment differently. This, he believes, is just the next step in the story. Moses went up to Sinai, got the Torah, came down and dealt with the golden calf, in response to which the people needed to build the tabernacle. Once they had the tabernacle, they needed to learn how to use it, and those instructions ended with last week's Torah portion. Now, at the beginning of this week's portion, as we shift our focus away from the sacrifices and look forward to our new lives in the land of Israel, the Torah reminds us that these laws are about our next chapter. The important message is not about minute details and general principles. It is about the vital connection between the Sinai moment and the mitzvot that take effect only when we enter the promised land. Returning to Sinai, according to Ramban's teaching, means connecting our immediate story to the larger narratives of our people and our tradition. I've been thinking about this a great deal lately as we continue to hear of rising anti-Semitism throughout the United States and around the world. We have so many incredible stories from our tradition and from the story of our people that tell the history of adaptation and connection, stretching as far back as the Exodus, through the Crusades and the spread of the diaspora, the conversos in Spain, partisans in the Warsaw Ghetto, to our present day and the adaptations Jews around the world have made in order to stay connected to our people and our tradition. This, my friends, is our Sinai moment. This spring, Jewish college students around the country have been intimidated at best, and in many cases, verbally and physically assaulted on their college campuses. They've been prevented from attending classes, and in a number of cases, anti-Israel, anti-Jewish protesters have shut down in-person classes altogether and have caused hundreds of thousands of dollars in damage to university property. In order to bring an end to the chaos, in too many cases, school administrators have capitulated to protesters' demands. Despite this, Campus Hillels and other Jewish organizations have stepped up to support Jewish students and help them navigate through this scary time. This is their Sinai moment. We live in a bit of a cocoon, shielded somewhat from the worst of what our fellow Jews in other cities are experiencing. But we are not completely isolated from it. Just last week, Archbishop Gustavo, who doesn't have a malicious, unkind bone in his body, posted an uninformed, hurtful comment on social media that had the potential to have far-reaching influence. Thankfully, he was responsive when Lisa Epstein reached out to him and removed the post, immediately issuing an apology, and will be meeting with the community rabbis to understand our perspective and why we're so upset by his words. This is our Sinai moment. Our Kesher kids skew older for the first time this year, which gives us an incredible opportunity to teach at a depth we previously couldn't. I asked our young people what they wanted to learn about, and their answers really surprised me. At the top of the list, they want to know more about what Jews believe, what Judaism stands for, and how it differs and is similar to other religions. I think this is amazing. It gives me such hope for the future and confidence that we are raising a new generation of Jews who will be knowledgeable about and proud of their Judaism. This is their Sinai moment. That original Sinai moment back in the book of Exodus, when true inspiration suddenly descended upon the world, is by its very nature mystical. Regardless of what you believe about the veracity of the so-called myth, Moses' receiving of the Torah at Sinai is a basic tenet of our faith that we pass on from generation to generation. It is one of those fundamental beliefs that we love to struggle with. To return to Sinai is to acknowledge that there are real moments of revelation. To return to Sinai is to admit that we don't have all the answers. To return to Sinai is to let go of our rationalist selves and to open ourselves to higher truth. It is simultaneously the simplest idea to understand and the hardest concept to swallow. Revelation, inspiration far beyond human understanding was given to us at Sinai. And so when logic fails and the heart is left wanting, it is to Sinai that we must return. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Rabbi. Shh, I forgot to turn the spotlight off. I'll do that as soon as I get back to my computer. Shabbat Shalom to everyone in the room, everyone on Zoom, everyone on YouTube. Let's see. On June 2nd, we will be having our Congregation Shalom annual meeting and potluck brunch. You can register for what you're going to bring at the link in your email, your weekly email newsletter. On June 11th at 7 p.m., we will have our Shavuot Eve service with Youth Corps, and then Oneg with ice cream sundae bar, and then some study from 8:30 to 10 p.m. You know, so we don't oversleep like those Israelites did. The Congregation Shalom Mahjong Club invites you to join us on June 9th at 1:30 p.m. at Corner Bakery Cafe in Stone Oak. Contact Sandra or Andrea for more information. And on Sunday, May 26th, the Chabad Israeli Center and the Jewish Federation will have a Lag BaOmer Carnival, and details on that are at the Jewish Federation website. There's a link written here or in your weekly newsletter. And finally, we will be having, or rather, Rabbi will be teaching, another Intro to Judaism course, this time in person, and that will begin on June 13th. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It's been amazing the number of inquiries that we've had for Intro to Judaism. If you know of somebody that is interested, let me know quickly. We'll be starting June, as Lady said, June 13th, and it's going to be in person this time. So 12 weeks over the summer. We're going to continue with the concluding portion of our service, beginning with Aleinu L'Shabeach. Please turn to page 283, 587 in the big book. And as able, we rise. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'tet gedula liotzer breshit, shehu sam chelkenu liached et shemo, Begor aleinu lehamlich malchuto, va'anachnu koreim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Next page. Shehu noteh shamayim v'yosed haaretz, u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim mima'al, u'shchinatu zo, b'govhei meromim, hu Eloheinu ein od, emet malkeinu efes ulato, Kakatu betorato, viadatayom, v'hashevota el levavecha, ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim, b'shamayim mima'al, v'al ha'aretz, mitachat ein od. 287, 591. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Page 295, 599 in the big book. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at the season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. This Shabbat, we remember the 3 Israelis whose bodies were recently recovered from Gaza. We remember Bruce Huntington Warren, friends of Stan and Wendy Drezick, who was in the period of Shloshim, 30 days past the death. We remember Jesse Weintraub, father-in-law of Sue Weintraub, Eduardo Meyer, brother of Adriana Meyer, and Joseph Usatine, father of Richard Usatine, whose yahrzeit, the anniversary of their death, is observed this Shabbat. Is anybody else observing a yahrzeit or remembering somebody for Kaddish this Shabbat? Sue?
Laurie Ayat.
Thank you.
Jerry Plotkin and David Sandler.
Thank you. Anybody else? Anyone on Zoom? Eileen?
Solomon Klieger, my grandfather and great-grandfather of Kim Martinez.
Thank you. Zichronam Livracha. We remember 10 people who perished in the Holocaust. Annalise Chon, Lily Hirsch, Fradla Hochfeld, Hilda Bertha, Marie Yeager, Judith Citrion, Jeanette Hallberg, Esther Husman, Emmy Esther Buzaglo, Marianne Bergman. Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be for blessing, as we turn to the words of the Mourner's Kaddish on page 294, 598 in the Big Book. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach chilutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayei chon u'vyomei chon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach la'alam u'lamei almaya. Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit romam v'yit naseh. V'yit hadar v'yit alev v'yit halal shemei dekudsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May the one who makes peace in the heavens help us to make peace here on earth and send peace to all who are bereaved, as we say. Amen. Please be seated. Our closing song can be found on page 353, 657 in the Big Book. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, also known as Salam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam. Jevo Shalom Aleinu, O Jevo Shalom Aleinu, O Jevo Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kulam. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Who would like to lead us in the Kiddush this evening? All right, Maureen?
You're gonna do it, Steve. You have to close your eyes, though.
While we're waiting for the wine and juice to be passed out,
Yeah.
Maury and I will be away because one way or another, we will have a grandchild, another grandchild,
Soon.
soon. So we're leaving the night after the annual meeting. We're leaving that night. And so we will be away the following Shabbat. Is there somebody that would like to lead the service, sing at the service, and or give a Devar Torah the following Shabbat? That would be the second. June 7th. June 7th. Devar Torah, lead the service, sing at the service. Thank you.
Sue, you forgot oh, you got it. It was it. Did you get Dave?
Not yet.
Dave in the back. Juice, and more juice. You got your choice.
We only have juice.
You will find the Kiddush on page 5, 123 in the big book. If there's anybody who would like to volunteer, please get in touch with me.
Ready? Sue, you all set? All right. Please join me. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pari hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'yahava uvratzon himchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh b'reishit, ki hu yom techila, l'mikra'ei kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, ki banu bacharta, v'yotanu kidashta, mikol amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'yahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-shabbat. Amen.
L'chaim.
Batteries. It went out.
Ah.
Yep. I think that was it more than feedback.
Baruch atah Adonai,
Eloheinu melech haolam,
hamotzi lachem